Intrusive questions about your romantic life at work are something we just dread. We do not like it as quiet introverts when somebody wants to know why we're not dating, or who are we dating, or why aren't we going out, or how come we're not married yet. My last video on this was pretty popular, so I thought that I would do another one with a couple more responses, because our private life is private, and a lot of people do not respect that in toxic work environments. They think they have to know everything for whatever reason, whether it's collecting data or maybe they're just curious. There are times people really just want to know. There's no real reason. They're just nosy and they want to ask, and they feel comfortable enough to ask us these obnoxious questions. But in the event that you really don't want to answer, I've got a couple more responses that are fun to use. They're clear, and yet you're setting a boundary. And the best part is, these aren't generic responses where you say things like, well, I'd rather keep that private. Or, well, I don't feel like discussing that. I'm one of these introverts that's kind of creative, and I like to come up with different responses, and a lot of them work well. And what's really great about it is there's some levity behind it. It's lighthearted. It's nothing that people have to take too seriously. I don't make them overly snide because I consider the fact that, we're in a work environment and you have to still remain somewhat professional, but it doesn't mean you can't use a little bit of humor. When you do that, I have found when I've used humor in my responses, it takes their mind off what they've actually asked. They're actually amazed by the genius response you give or the humor behind it, and it really lightens things up, and it completely changes the whole dynamic of that discussion. It goes from being serious and you not wanting to answer the question to, oh, that was pretty funny. Oh, I like that. And it just somehow makes things a little more, I dare say the word enjoyable. I know that when we go to work, we just want to go there to work. Sure, of course. But it doesn't mean we have to be uptight about everything. It means that we can also have a little bit of lightheartedness. I mean, just because you're quiet or an introvert doesn't mean that you have to answer like you have no personality. I have 3 in a separate video in my shorts videos where I have new responses to your romantic life and why you're not dating. But in case you missed it, I'll just cover it real quick here. Somebody wants to push you about your dating life, your romantic life. One of the answers could be, plot is still developing, spoilers are locked away. Another one would be, if I told you, I'd have to charge you admission. Another one, my love life is currently under construction. Hard hats are required. I'm flattered you're curious, but that chapter stays private. My romantic life is on a strict don't ask, don't tell policy. And another cute response could be, I'd answer, but I'm saving my interview for a major network. And lastly, my PR team advised me not to comment. Remember these responses next time you get intrusive questions about your romantic life. These are the kinds of responses I go into in my communication style, and you get a lot of that information in my emails. If you haven't joined that yet, the link is in description. I just go into various responses. It's not just about one on the same topic, because you have people that are pushy and they're going to want to keep digging and they want to use data. And I'm be sure I cover that, because I have been in more situations than I care to admit in which I have had to come up with some really good answers to keep people out of my business. They're really good to have if you work in a toxic work environment and you're a quiet person or an introvert and you want to have some kind of good answer to give other than the normal, well, I'd really rather not discuss that. Oh, things are going fine, and then not say anything else. They not only worked, but they weren't uptight answers. They were answers that weren't meant to make somebody feel bad, even though some of them deserve to be, but they weren't meant to make anyone feel bad, because I had to work with these people every single day. I didn't want to create more awkward situations than there already were. And I did have a lot of questions about my romantic life. I got so tired of answering them, I just came up with these answers, and they work really well, and it also made them laugh. It didn't make anything feel weird or uptight or like I had some kind of a problem. I still kept my power while initiating a boundary. My answers are designed to have a little personality behind them, because just because you're a quiet person or an introvert, it doesn't mean that you have to be sour about answering a question. I'm the kind of introvert where I like to have a little levity. I'm very quiet in spite of me being on camera. It's totally different than looking at a bunch of people, by the way. But I am very quiet, and I don't like it when people ask me a lot of questions, Because when I'm at work, I just want to do my job. I don't want to give anybody any intel or any kind of data that they might try to find a way to use against me in some way. If you want more responses like these to various situations that you definitely deal with in your toxic work environment, be sure you join my email list.